Hello, happy Friday again. Last week, I had the privilege of having coffee with two friends. One of them had met only once in person before the pandemic, and the other woman I felt like I because we had done so much online collaboration the past several months. And I noticed that there was so much give and take and so much energy that it was just exciting. It was exciting to be together again, um, masked at first until we drank our coffee, and but later, of course, we took the masks off, and it's a good thing because we were talking nonstop about 90 miles an hour. But uh, at one point, one of the women shared that she was uh, so her leg muscles had atrophied so much during the pandemic, and her shoulders had slumped a lot. Her back was hurting, and that was all due to spending so much time on the computer during the pandemic. And so she had done something that she was really glad that she'd done. It had really helped her a lot, and that was buy a stand-up desk, an adjustable stand-up desk. So, just this morning, my husband got my adjustable stand up desk. He got that put together, and I am now broadcasting while standing up. And um, it's kind of fun. It's different. So now you see me, and now you don't. So I think it's going to take some getting used to. But anyway, it's worth a shot because I spend sometimes hours on risers with my singing sisters, and the legs get really sore, the feet go numb, and so it's time to build that stamina back up to pre-pandemic levels, if I even had stamina, yeah, pre-pandemic. But that that discussion is kind of a prelude to our topic today, and that is collaboration. These three friends collaborated on a lot of things that we're doing. We collaborated on our similar philosophies of life, and just it's going to be a good collaborative relationship. But I have a lot of other examples of collaboration that was kind of driven by the pandemic. And the first example that I can recall was early in the pandemic when I was working with a client and we were trying to design her book cover. And she had an artist friend who was kind of looking over her shoulder while we were on Zoom together and making suggestions. So we collaborated on changes for that cover in real time, and it was a very productive collaboration. The next thing that I remember collaborating on was a Zoom with another client, Terry. And Terry had an ambitious and beautifully illustrated family history to publish. And thanks to Zoom, we could collaborate in real time as I used my design software and shared my screen and showed Terry what I was doing to manipulate the photos and the type and take her suggestions. So she's getting really close to getting that published, or at least a draft copy published. So that was another example of collaboration that was very productive. After the pandemic hit, all of a sudden, all the volunteer organizations, the clubs that I belonged to, had to learn to hold meetings in a new way so that we wouldn't lose momentum. The Sweet Adelines group had to start singing on Zoom with their mics muted because if they weren't muted, it was going to make an awful sound because of the buffering that was going on. Um, and the mental health organization that I served as a board member They had to conduct their meetings via Zoom. So, my point in all these examples of collaboration is to emphasize that despite all the negative things, the deaths, the business disruptions, the economic turmoil that was generated by the pandemic, there were many positive things that came out of it. We all had to innovate and find new ways of getting things done. And those new ways allowed a lot of us to work from home, and we saved gas and we saved time. But I think it really ushered in an exciting and probably permanent trend for all kinds of work, all kinds of collaboration. Just this week, I collaborated with a singing friend to revise a script for our Christmas show, and it's a script that we basically wrote together on Zoom. And the best example of collaboration that I've been involved in lately has been my work with my business partner and friend, Sherry. We're doing videos together tomorrow to put in the classroom space that for the online curriculum that we're planning. We've written books together and we have several more planned. Are there any ways that you can think of that you can collaborate with your friends or family? Are you meeting your friends on FaceTime now when you used to be able to have lunch and meet in person? I mean, of course, the obvious best way is to be in person, but when you can't, at least there are alternatives. The pandemic gave me a really strong motivation to work on an extended family history. So I started a new family group dedicated to that effort, and we've already shared some wonderful old family movies and photographs on the site. And I think it's drawn us closer to each other as a family. So, my hope for you is that you can come up with good examples of collaborative efforts that have been a result of the pandemic, that have put a positive spin on the pandemic, and that you will consider perhaps doing more, starting a family history group that you can share photographs back and forth with your family. I think all of these things do serve to draw us closer together, at least keeping us in touch with each other. So, and now I need to motor this desk to a sitting position because my legs are barking at me. So, until next time, have a great weekend.